Well, you certainly move fast.
What do you mean?
You must be fucking him. Sir doesn't let just anyone walk his collection.
I don't think I'm his type.
Why not? You're very masculine.
Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Yes! You are not Advertiser Friendly. Episode number 6. We are just cruising through this wonderful roller coaster of rancid, ravaging devastation. And, coming off of last night's apparently witchcraftian fair, that is the Neon Demon, I thought, you know what? Let's go back. Let's go back to the 80s. Let's go back to the wonderful decade, one of the great eras of horror films, and talk about a probably lesser known film, a film that way under the radar for a lot of people, and that movie is The Incubus. The Incubus. So, what is this movie about? Well, in a small town called Galen, there appears to be a series of rapes and murders that are leaving the investigators baffled. In fact, they're not quite sure if it's one person or a group of persons, because the amount of strength used to tear up the crime scenes and also to ravage the women seem almost inhuman. While this is going on, there's a young man who is suffering from nightmares, and he believes that these nightmares are connected to the murders. In fact, he might actually be the murderer himself. And so it's up to this doctor to figure out the mystery of who or what is murdering and raping these women, and how can it be stopped. So, that's the basic plot of this movie. It's very kind of interesting the way it twists a little bit and has a nice surprise ending that I thought was very good and kind of ahead of its time. When you think about it, it's not necessarily your typical Hollywood movie ending. So anyways, let's get to those wonderful scores. So, violence and gore, I am giving it a 3 out of 5. Honestly, most of it's just physical violence. There is a bit of blood as it goes on. I had a great scene with a shovel and a shotgun that I thought was nicely done. And so, yeah, I'm giving it a solid 3 out of 5. There is a lot of aftermath gore, but still, I think it's pretty good. Anyways, so let's get into shock value. I'm also giving this a 3 out of 5. There's a couple really good jump scares that caught me off guard, and I thought that was really good. Plus, the whole shocking aspect of the monster is not just a typical slasher film, because this thing is a rapist. That's how it murders. It murders by rape, and it's pretty horrific when you think about it. Plus, the nice ending twist I thought was really good. And yeah, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 in the shock value. So, getting on to plot, I'm also giving it a 3 out of 5. At first, I was going to give it probably a 2.5 because there is this really weird, forced love story. I mean, it is forced. I mean, it had no flow. And I thought that there were some scenes that just kind of didn't make sense in the flow of the movie. However, I like the fact that they're talking about the storyline of the past of this town and how these rapes and murders happened 30 years ago, and that how there's this whole sort of witch hunting background in this town. And I found that to be quite fascinating. And I liked how they wove that into the story and made it relevant to what was going on. And quite frankly, I loved how it ended, and that bumped it up to the 3 out of 5. I mean, sure, it definitely has some pacing issues. However, the movie does get to the point rather quickly. And in fact, the movie really just gets right into it. I mean, it starts out with rape and murder, and it just continues on. There's not really a long period where there isn't something relevant going on, and it moves, but just some of it just is a little off, and so I can't give it like a higher score than 3 out of 5. So acting, I'm also giving it 3 out of 5. Honestly, Nick Cassavetes did a great job. Some of the side characters were a little hammy. I think the poor kid who is having the nightmares comes off as a little bit too much, and his mother or grandmother actually, I don't know, like her performance seems a little forced, but all in all, still pretty positive. So I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Nudity, also a 3 out of 5. There is some brief shower scenes going on in this movie. There's just some full frontal that happens. Surprisingly, not much really nudity during the rape scenes, which is good, fine. That's great, actually. But just a pretty nice amount of Tetons, which, if you will, is shown in this movie, and of course a corpse, because we can't have a horror movie without a naked corpse, right? No, it's like a rule or something. Anyway, so 3 out of 5. My enjoyment factor is a 4 out of 5. Honestly, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought to myself as I was watching this, like, I'm really digging the whole aspect of the monster or not monster. Is it the guy? Is it not the guy? Is it supernatural? Is he possessed? What is this incubus? And what exactly is going on? I really bought into the mystery. I really did kind of care what was going on. I liked the role of the doctor. He was pretty solid in this, and all in all, I enjoyed the ending. I at the end, like toward the end, like almost like exactly at the end, like a couple scenes before the ending happened, I had a thought, and it was a thought like, oh wait, what if it's this way? And I'm going, man, it would be cool, but I don't know if they actually would do that. And they ended up doing it, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. So really, I don't want to overhype the ending, because then, people expect, the greatest Hitchcockian thing of all time, and it's not necessarily that, but it's definitely surprising, and I thought very enjoyable, and I liked it. I was engaged through the movie. There wasn't a lot of ho-hum moments. Yes, there were awkward things that happen in the movie. Some of the scenes, like I said, don't quite fit up, but overall, a very fun movie, engaging, and like I said, had a couple things that really oh wow, it got me there. So I have to give it kudos for that. So 4 out of 5. My overall impression is a 3.5 out of 5. Honestly, I think this is an overlooked movie. I haven't heard too much about it. No one really brings it up when it comes to talking about like supernatural slasher type films. I mean, perhaps it's a bit controversial because of the subject matter. I mean, it is rape, and rape is very, very kind of taboo subject matter when it comes to horror movies, especially during the 80s. The whole sex and violence thing that they were very kind of how you say sensitive to. Even though this was really early 80s, I think like early 82, 83ish, but. honestly a solid horror movie. It's got that nice feel to it, that 80s graininess to it. Of course, that could be because of my piss poor version that I have of it. So, but it's thoroughly enjoyable to me, and I quite liked it a lot. So 3.5 out of 5. That gives us an impressive average of 3.2 out of 5. So the Incubus, the incarnation of demonic powers that copulates with the living in an obsessed guttural reaction to procreate and also murder. So, have you seen the Incubus? What did you think about it? Leave a comment in the comment section. Did you like my review? Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, notification squad, whatever, bell ringing, blah blah, Patreon. I don't even have a Patreon, but this is everything that all those YouTubers talk about. So, gotta be like them, right? Robot, YouTube. Anyways, gee. You can already see I'm starting to lose my mind, and I'm only 6 episodes in. But anyways, it's a fun ride. It's been a fun ride. So far, I've been pleasantly surprised by the quality of some of the movies that I've watched for the first time. And so, anyways, until the next time, Internet, stay sexy, stay scary, and watch out for those dream monsters that come to life, because man, the rapey time is not pleasant. No, 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 no siree. Mwah!